Hello everyone, welcome to EdYourself. In this video, we are going to see the difference between software simplified workflow and custom workflow. In last video, we have seen how a workflow would looks like in the Scrum project and how a workflow looks like in the Kanban project. I mean the different type of statuses. Now in this video, we are going to see what is the difference between a software simplified workflow and a custom workflow in Jira. Alright, let me navigate to the Jira instance. Alright, as part of this video, I have opened 3 different tabs where I can see 3 different workflows, right? As I can see in the very first tab, I have opened a workflow that belongs to a Scrum project. Then we can clearly see 3 different statuses: to do, in progress and done, and each and every status have all global transition, which means the issue can freely move between the statuses. We have learned and we even have seen the example in the earlier video, right? So if you missed it, please go ahead and watch the video. That would be really very helpful to you. In the second tab, I have opened a workflow that belongs to Kanban project. So by default, whenever someone creates a project in Jira using the Kanban template, the workflow that we are seeing on this page will be applicable to each and every issue type in the Kanban project. We can see backlog, we can see selected for development, in progress and done. So we can call the workflow of the Scrum project and the workflow of the Kanban project. So when I use the word workflow, the default workflow, the software simplified workflow given by Jira at the very beginning of the creation of a project, we can call it as a software simplified workflow. Now when I observe the very third tab, I can see this is not something given by Jira, right? It looks like something that we have created by our own. I do not see the global transition mark. I do not see something that is like a Scrum workflow or a Kanban workflow. So we can call it as a custom workflow because it is not given by Jira and we have created by our own. So in today's session, we are going to see the basic 4 differences between software simplified workflow and a custom workflow in Jira. So let me go back to PPT and let me open the very first slide. Alright, I have mentioned one of the example where we can see the software simplified workflow with to do, in progress and done, where the user can freely move the issue between all the statuses. And in the right side, I have mentioned the word custom workflow where we can see it is not given by Jira and that is something we have created by our own. And if I scroll down, or maybe if I go to the next slide, I can clearly see the first difference between simplified workflow and a Jira workflow. Jira workflow can be called a custom workflow. I can see for the Scrum project, the default statuses are to do, in progress and done. We have already seen in the last video. And for the Kanban project, we can see 4 statuses, right? Backlog, selected for development, in progress and done. Now when it comes to a custom workflow or maybe a Jira workflow, a custom workflow has more steps than are typically needed on a board. Now whatever the statuses that we are seeing on the Scrum project and Kanban project by default, to do, in progress are done, maybe backlog, selected development are in progress are done, we can see it on the board, right? Let me navigate to Jira. Alright, let me navigate to the Scrum project. Let me close it and let me go back to project. And in the project, if I click on the active sprint, I can see to do, in progress and done. So that somewhere in the board configuration, the workflow statuses will be mapped to each column. The to do status will be mapped to do. The in progress status will be mapped to in progress column and the done status will be mapped to done column in the Scrum project. Alright, in the same way, in the Kanban project, let me close the workflow diagram and let me navigate back to the project home page. And in the home page of the Kanban board, I can clearly see there are 4 different columns. backlog selected for development, in progress and done. It means the backlog status will be mapped to backlog, the selected development status will be mapped to selected for development column, in progress status will be mapped to in progress column, and same way the done status will be mapped to done column in the board configuration. And do not get confused, we will be covering even the board settings and the board configuration in the upcoming videos. Now when it comes to a custom workflow, since it is a small custom workflow, I can only see three different statuses, right? I can see open, I can see in progress, I can see done. But always remember, the custom workflow in any organization will be having even 3 statuses and up to 20 to 30 statuses. So when we do have multiple statuses in a custom workflow, how are we going to map it onto the board? Let me close it and remember the word open. In progress and done are some similar statuses that we know, right? Let me click on close. Let me go back to the project. And on the active sprint, I can see there are 3 different columns: to do, in progress and done. So the open status will be mapped to do. The in progress status will be as usually mapped to in progress, and the done status will be mapped to done. If I see in review, maybe waiting for approval, waiting for development or something like that, we have to map the custom statuses to any one of the column in the workflow, on the board. So if there is an in review status, maybe if there is selected for approval, if there is any custom status, we can directly map to in progress. That would be one of the things that we can do when it comes to a custom workflow in Jira. All you have to understand, the custom workflow can be typically having more number of statuses where we have to map it onto the project board, and we will be seeing that in the upcoming sessions of the board topic. And the second difference, when it comes to simplified workflows, allows issues to be dragged freely between columns. User can move the issue from to do to in progress, or maybe from to do to done, or from done to do, or maybe done to in progress, because we can see the global transition on all the statuses. Issues can be dragged freely between the statuses or columns when it comes to board. But when it comes to Jira workflow or a custom workflows, issues cannot be dragged freely because there will be some certain conditions that prevents issues from being dragged freely between all the columns. As we can have a look at the workflow diagram, I can clearly see there is no global transition, right? All I can see is some condition, which means once the issue has been created, it should be in the open. And from open, we do have a small condition like the user should only move the issue to in progress. As I can see the transition direction here. And from in progress, there is a small condition like the user should only be able to move the issue to done status. There is a transition direction to the done, which means the user cannot freely move the issue from in progress back to open because there is no transition direction towards open from in progress. I hope everybody has understand. And do not get confused when I use the word conditions. In Jira, we do have another word conditions that can be used in between the transitions. We will be discussing that shortly in the upcoming videos. And the third difference, whenever we see the simplified workflows, displays no screens on any transitions. All transitions will happen instantly. Now when we are moving the issue from in progress to done, maybe to do to done, the workflow status will automatically update it. Now when it comes to a custom workflow, when we are closing the issue to done, some transition screen will pop up. It will ask us, you are closing the ticket, so fill the necessary fields. Might be the resolution of the issue, whether really have you completed, or maybe you have not completed the work. Some details needs to be filled on the screen when the user tries to move the issue to done, or maybe when he tries to open the issue. when he tries to close the issue, some screen needs to be populated. It can be placed on the custom workflow. When it comes to simplified workflow, automatically whenever the issue has been moved to done, the resolution will be set to done. Do not get confused by what do you mean by a resolution. We will be understanding the resolution shortly in one of the video. Alright, when it comes to a custom workflow, we cannot set the resolution done directly. The user needs to be selected manually. Like we can keep a resolution screen whenever the issue is being moved from in progress to done, so that the user will be able to set the resolution manually. And we will be seeing that very shortly in the same video in the Jira Cloud instance. And one of the final difference between a simplified workflow and a custom Jira workflow. The simplified workflow can be edited in the board settings. We can add a new status. We can do anything on the board settings. But the same thing cannot be done to a custom workflow. We will not be able to edit the custom workflow in the board configuration. It is something that we needs to be done in the global level workflows configuration. So we will be discussing about boards when it comes to the boards topic, and very shortly we will be discussing mostly on the custom workflow, on how to do a workflow customization in the global level. That would be one of the next videos. Alright, now we have clearly seen the basic differences between a software simplified workflow and a custom workflow in Jira, right? Theoretically, maybe in the PPT, this would not be good, right? Even we have to go and we have to see the same in the Jira Cloud instance, then we will be satisfied, right? By the understanding of the differences. Now let me quickly go back to the very first one. When it comes to Scrum and Kanban, we have clearly seen the workflows diagram on the PPT itself. So no need to go to the cloud instance and have a look, because we already covered the same thing in one of the previous video. And the second difference allows issues to be dragged freely between columns, and there is a transition mark and the users will not be able to move the issues freely. So let's see this in the Jira Cloud instance. I want to close all the necessary tabs, all the not needed tabs, and I want to open two different tabs. Let me be in the Jira homepage. So in the very first tab, I want to quickly create one of the issue in the Add Yourself project. And the Add Yourself project is using a custom workflow, which means issues will not be dragged freely. However, the workflow configuration has been done in the backend. The issues based upon the condition, it will be dragged to one status to another status. So let me click on create and let me open the issue. And in the second tab, I would like to click on create, and I want to make an use of other project, which is Scrum project, where the software simplified workflow is being used. Issues can be dragged freely between the statuses. And then I would like to click on create and I want to open the issue. Alright, coming back to the custom workflow. Now in the PPT, I clearly see, right, as soon as the issue gets created, it will be in the open status. As I can clearly see, the issue has been created in the Add Yourself where the custom workflow is using. I can see the issue is in open. And from open, the transition mark is only showing to in progress, so that whenever the user wants to click or change the workflow status, he can be able to see only in progress status. He cannot see the done status because there is no a transition mark directly from open to done. Let's have a look. When I click on open, I can see only in progress. Alright, now when it comes to software simplified workflow, as soon as the issue gets created, it will be in the to do status. Let's see that in the second tab, I can see an issue has been created it is a software simplified workflow. I can see the issue is currently in to-do status. And from to-do status, since I can see the all transition on in progress and all transition on the done status, the user will be able to move the issue from in progress from to do, or maybe directly he can even move the issue from to do to done. It means what I would like to let you know is the user will be able to see all the other statuses where we can see the done transition mark. Let me have a look. Alright, we are in the software simplified workflow. So from to do, if I click on it, the user will be able to see in progress status where the done transition has been marked, and even the user will be able to see the done status where the all transition mark or the global transition mark has been marked. So this is one of the difference between a custom workflow and a software simplified workflow. The user can be freely able to move the issues from one status to another status. Alright, coming back to the diagram, let me take the next example. Displays no screen on transitions. Any user can move the transitions very freely. Nothing can be asked in between. No screens will be popped up in between. And whenever the issue has been moved to done, automatically the resolution will be set to done. When it comes to a custom workflow, whenever we are moving the issue to done, automatically the resolution will not be set to done. We have to select manually. Some screen will be popped up in between. Some details needs to be filled in order to close the issue. Let's have a look at the example in live. It is a software simplified workflow. No screens can be popped up in between. Whenever the issue has been moved to done, the resolution will be set to done automatically. When I click on done, I can see some green tick mark and I can see the resolution will be in the done automatically. So let me do that. As I click on done status, automatically the resolution of the issue has been set to done. Now I want to navigate to the custom workflow. From open to in progress, let me go. And from in progress, I want to close the ticket. I want to resolve the ticket. Now when I click on done, the resolution will not be set to done automatically. Some screen will be popped up. In small way we can tell it is a transition screen, or also we can call it as a resolution screen, because while moving the issue to done, some screen is being popped up, right? We can call any name. Now when I click on done, I can see some screen has been popped up. I can call it as a transition screen, I can call it as a resolve issue screen, and I can even call it as a resolution screen, where we can choose the resolution. If it is really completed, we can keep it done. If it is not completed, maybe we can click won't do. If it is a duplicate, we can click duplicate. Anything would be fine. We will be selecting manually. And don't get confused on how these values come. By default, Jira has given 4 resolution values. And in future, we are going to see how to set a different set of resolution values. That would be a completely different video. For now, let me choose any one option randomly. If I want to add the assignee name, maybe if I want to select the time spent on the issue, some other important information, if anything needs to be noted, we will be doing that. And in one of the other video, I clearly let you know how we can create a screen, how we can make it populated in between 2 different statuses. That would be one of the videos, so do not get confused in this video. Let me click on done. We will be able to see the resolution set to won't do, and we are doing it manually. So let me click on done. As I can see, the resolution has been set manually to one of the options that we have selected. And in the custom workflow, we can see a transition screen also has popped up and in between. So these are the basic differences between a simplified workflow and a custom workflow in Jira. And we will be discussing about the board settings when it comes to workflows in a dedicated boards topic. So if you feel that you have gained some knowledge in the workflows, maybe in this particular topic, if you really like it, please like the video, and if you find it helpful, please share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to Edu Yourself channel for many more good videos on the Jira. And I see you all in the upcoming video shortly. Thank you.